All right, let's have an honest conversation. Just you and me. Not about luck. Not about secret stock tips. Not about get-rich-quick fantasies. But about patterns. Quiet, daily patterns that shape where our lives go. I've noticed something over the years watching people struggle financially and watching others slowly build freedom. The difference often isn't talent. It isn't IQ. It isn't even starting point. It's habits. Repeated. Normal. Easy to ignore habits. And some of these might feel a little uncomfortable to hear because they're common. You probably see them every day. Maybe you see them in yourself sometimes. I know I've seen them in me. So let's walk through this together. Here are 5 things people who stay financially stuck tend to do that wealth builders slowly train themselves not to. Not to judge, but to notice, because awareness changes direction. Welcome to Money with Jerry, a place where you sharpen your edge. The first one shows up at the end of almost every long day. You tell yourself you're tired. You've earned a break. So you open your phone, turn on a show, scroll for just a few minutes. And suddenly it's midnight. I used to do this constantly. I'd say I didn't have time to learn a new skill, time to plan my finances, time to work on that side idea. But somehow I always had time to watch other people live their lives on a screen. There's a quote I love, where your time goes, your life follows. And another that hits even harder. We all have the same 24 hours. The difference is what we trade them for. Wealth builders don't avoid rest. They just become intentional with it. They understand that 2 hours a night, every night, becomes years of lost progress, or years of compounding growth. Imagine 2 people with the same job, same salary. One spends evenings escaping. The other spends some evenings learning, building, improving. 5 years later, they're in different financial worlds. It's not dramatic in the moment. It's quiet. That's why it's powerful. The second habit hides in shopping carts, delivery apps, and limited-time offers. Buying based on emotion instead of long-term value. Ever had a stressful week and thought, I deserve this? New clothes, new gadget, fancy food delivery. Feels good? For a moment. I've done it too. That small rush feels like relief. But there's a difference between comfort and progress. Poor people ask, can I afford the payment? Wealthy people ask, is this worth the price? And this one stays with me. If you buy things to impress others, you'll end up working for people you don't even like. Wealth builders don't stop spending. They just slow down the emotional impulse. They ask, will this still matter next month? Next year? Or is this just me trying to feel better right now? I once knew a guy at work who earned the same as everyone else. But every bonus he got went into upgrading his lifestyle. Better phone, better shoes, more nights out. Another coworker quietly used his bonus to pay off debt and take an online course. A few years later, one was still waiting for payday. The other had options. Same income, different decisions under emotional pressure. The third habit is subtle but heavy. Blaming circumstances without looking for control. Life is unfair sometimes. Jobs fall through. Costs rise. Family pressure builds. I'm not pretending those things aren't real. But there's a fork in the road after every setback. One path asks, why is this happening to me? The other asks, what can I still control here? The moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you gain the power to change anything in your life. And another powerful reminder, you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. I remember a period when I felt completely stuck. Low pay, high stress. I complained constantly. Nothing changed. Then one day I asked a different question. What skill would make me more valuable anywhere? That question led to nights of learning instead of nights of complaining. It didn't fix life overnight, but it shifted my direction. Months later, opportunities one couldn't even see before started showing up. Wealth builders aren't luckier with problems. They're just faster to look for leverage instead of just sympathy. The fourth habit is living with no financial breathing room. No savings. No buffer. Every surprise becomes a crisis. Car issue? Panic. Medical bill? Debt. Job delay? Spiral. I've lived like that before. It feels like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Money doesn't just buy things. It buys time to think. And this one is simple but deep. Savings turn emergencies into inconveniences. Wealth builders focus early on creating space. Not luxury. Space. A small emergency fund. A little margin. Because margin changes how you make decisions. When you're not desperate, you think clearer. You negotiate better. You take smarter risks. I knew a woman who always seemed calm during chaos at work. Turns out she had 6 months of expenses saved. That didn't make her rich, but it made her powerful in ways nobody could see. The fifth habit is staying in environments that normalize struggle. You ever notice how conversations shape expectations? If everyone around you talks about how broke they are, how nothing works, how success is for other people, that mindset starts to feel normal. You become like the people you listen to the most. And one more that hits home. Your environment will either stretch your vision or shrink it. This doesn't mean abandoning people you love. It means adding voices that challenge you. Books, podcasts, mentors from a distance, friends who talk about goals instead of just gossip. I once joined a small group where people openly discuss side projects, investments, and career moves. At first I felt behind. Then I felt inspired. Their normal became my new normal. Exposure changes standards. Standards change behavior. Behavior changes results. Now, pause for a second. If some of this felt personal, that's okay. It's not a verdict on you. It's a snapshot. And snapshots can change. None of these habits make someone bad or lazy. They're just easy defaults in a world built on distraction, pressure, and instant gratification. The good news? Habits are learned, which means they can be unlearned. You don't have to fix everything this month. You don't have to become a different person overnight. Just noticing one pattern and adjusting it slightly can shift your trajectory more than you think. Maybe tonight you spend 1 hour learning instead of escaping. Maybe this week you pause before an emotional purchase. Maybe you start a tiny emergency fund, even if it's small. Maybe you add one new voice in your life that talks about growth. Small shifts, repeated, because wealth isn't built in giant dramatic moments. It's built in quiet daily decisions nobody claps for at the time. And if you've made some of these mistakes before, welcome to being human. The goal isn't perfection. It's direction. You're not behind. You're becoming aware. And awareness is where change begins. So tell me in the comments, which of these habits hit you the hardest today? And remember this as you go back into your week. Progress beats perfection. Every single time. If this video has been helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. You may want to watch the video next to this one.